we are talking about war crimes. This is absolutely a shame. All right. Pentagon finally acknowledged that they killed civilians. That's right. August 29th drone strike in Afghanistan was a tragic mistake that killed 10 civilians, including 6 children. They acknowledged on Friday, today, that a U.S. drone strike in Afghanistan on August 29th that officials said was necessary to prevent an attack on American troops was a tragic mistake that killed 10 civilians, including 7 children. The explosives the military claimed were loaded in the truck of a white Toyota sedan struck by the drone's Hellfire missile were most likely water bottles, and a secondary explosion in the courtyard in a densely populated Kabul neighborhood where the attack took place was probably a propane or gas tank, officials said. In short, the car posed no threat at all, investigators concluded. I'm going to keep reading this in a second. Oops. Sorry, we killed a bunch of kids. Where is Joe Biden? Where was he coming out and owning this today? Did I miss that? Did he have a speech apologizing for killing 7 children in Afghanistan somewhere in a speech today? Did I miss that? Did anyone catch that? Anyone at all? No? Oh, I must have missed it because I didn't see that. I saw a clip of him talking about how immigrants are great and we should just accept immigrants, which I'm okay with. Legal immigration, of course. Absolutely. Legal immigration is part of the reason America's as great as it is. We're a melting pot because we are a mix of all different sorts of immigrants. But the illegal immigration is an issue. But I'll get into that in a little bit. That's all I heard or have seen from Biden today. Huh. Yeah. Oops is nothing. Senior Defense Department leaders acknowledged that the driver of the car, Zamari Ahmadi, a longtime worker for a U.S. aid group, had nothing to do with the Islamic State, as military officials had previously asserted. Mr. Ahmadi's only connection to the terrorist group appeared to be a fleeting and innocuous interaction with people in what the military believed was an ISIS safe house in Kabul, an initial link that led military analysts to make one mistaken judgment after another while tracking Mr. Ahmadi's movements in the sedan for the next 8 hours. I offer my profound condolences to the family and friends of those who were killed, General Kenneth McKenzie Jr., the commander of the U.S. Central Command, told reporters at a Pentagon news conference on Friday. He said the United States was exploring the possibility of ex gratia payments to compensate the families of the victims. The general said the strike was carried out in a profound belief that ISIS was about to attack Kabul's airport, as the organization had done 3 days earlier, killing more than 140 people, including 13 American service members. The general acknowledged that the New York Times investigation of video evidence helped investigators determine that they had struck a wrong target. As we, in fact, worked on our investigation, we used all available information, General McKenzie told reporters. Certainly, that included some of the stuff the New York Times did. The findings of the inquiry by the military's Central Command mirrored the Time investigation, which also included interviews with more than a dozen of the driver's co-workers and family members in Kabul. The Times inquiry raised doubts about the U.S. version of events, including whether explosives were present in the vehicle, whether the driver had connection to ISIS, and whether there was a second explosion after the missile struck the car. Military officials cited the investigation by the Times and other media organizations as providing valuable visual and other evidence that forced the military to reassess the judgments that led it to believe falsely that the sedan posed a threat. You know, what really pisses me off, and I'm going to show you guys, because this is from September 1st, okay? Just a couple days after it happened. This was 2 weeks ago now, September 1st. Yeah, it's the I don't know, 18th, 17th now? It's the 17th? 16 days ago, General Milley, we all know about him. He's been in the news lately, but this is a clip from him, from Jewish Deplorable, posted on Twitter. He called it a righteous strike, despite evidence at the time that the strike killed civilians. He even claimed the strike killed an ISIS-K facilitator. And then, of course, you just heard that they, in fact, killed 10 civilians and 0 ISK. They say ISIS-K, but it's ISK members. He goes on in this clip, and he's talking about how, well, there was a secondary explosion, so we must have prevented an attack. Clearly, we stopped another attack, so it was a righteous strike. I stand by my intelligence. I don't trust this man. I don't trust this traitor. This guy went behind the sitting president's back because he thought he was unhinged. He thought Trump was unhinged, that he was going to drop a nuke on China, and told China, hey, if he does something, I'm going to let you guys know first. That's preposterous to think that Trump was going to do that. He's one of the few presidents that wanted to get out of war and didn't start a war and, brought our troops home. He wasn't going to do that. Now he's sitting there saying it was a righteous strike to kill 10 civilians. Clearly they didn't have the right intelligence. Clearly they messed up. It should be this man standing there. Yeah, I made a mistake. But no, he's probably running and hiding because he's under what I assume investigation for treason, for aiding China, or I guess just colluding against the sitting American president. I have a picture that a friend of mine showed me. He sent it over to me, and I'm like, oh, that is just too good. Let me just find it real quick and show you guys. There's Trump, really pissed off. And here he is, the traitor, saying now he's convinced everyone's plotting behind his back. He did seem awfully convinced that there were people plotting against him in the government. It turns out he was right. He was absolutely right. People were colluding behind his back. They were. And it was this man who told us 16 days ago that it was a righteous strike, that they prevented something he didn't even know. And it turns out the secondary explosion was probably a propane tank or gasoline tank that had nothing to do with any sort of attack plan. Remember that kill list that they gave the Taliban? Hey, I'm sorry, excuse me, it wasn't a kill list. It was a, please don't target these specific people because we'd like this list of people to be able to get out of Afghanistan, please. There's some Americans, there's some Afghanis that were helping us. Please don't. Now, I said it then, and I still want to know, was this man's name on that list? Let me go back. I want to read his name. Where is it? Zamari Ahmadi. Has there been someone who has asked Jen Psaki, hey, I would like to know, was Zamari's Ahmadi's name on that list that you gave the Taliban? Do we know that? Do we know what names were on that list? I'm not sure. But I would like to know. Because if it was on that list, that means that he was a key target for the Taliban to hit. But somehow they got this intelligence that he was... Well, why was he targeted? Why did they even choose him? I want to know more information. Okay? There's not enough information. Just, sorry, we killed 7 children. Yeah, that's not going to make the Taliban want to work with us more, is it? No. You killed innocent people, Joe Biden. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Joe Biden. You're the sitting president. That is 100% on you. And your generals who came out and said that it was a righteous strike. What do you think they're going to do with that information? Huh? They're going to recruit more people that hate America because of your faults. They're going to think America and be like, they kill innocent kids. America's back, everyone. We had a president who didn't want to do any of that. In fact, he wanted at all costs to avoid gunfire. And he says that he thought Trump was unhinged, that he was going to fly off the handle and do something. Really? One thing we all should know about Trump, he cares about what his name means. It's his entire brand. He wants his name to be known as the president that didn't start any wars. He was not going to start a war on the way out. He went out peacefully. He walked out of that. He didn't concede, and I don't think he should have, because I don't think that everything was legitimate. We'll just put it that way. So I'm with President Trump on that. I don't know about you, but that's okay. Believe what you want. Yeah. Spanish John just said everything they said about Trump is what Biden is. Absolutely. Joe Biden said last year, I will not run by executive order. That's what dictators do. My friends tell me that that's what a dictator would do. And now he's running by executive order, by mandates. I mean, that's the mandate thing is a whole nother conversation, which I just avoid. I'm so sick of talking about that disease, that sickness. I'm just over it. Anyway, it really saddens me to know that America killed innocent civilians. It's just going to make everyone look at us, because everyone stereotypes to the rest of the world. America's a joke right now. America's a joke. They're laughing at Z-Zers, she, hims. It's in the military. We're fighting amongst themselves, and everyone's like, wow. It is the divided states of America right now. We even have Sarah Silverman came out yesterday and said, or maybe it was sometime this week, hey, you know what? Maybe we should break up the country. Maybe we should be divided. It could be USA 1 and USA 2. You guys can have USA 1. I know you like to be first with everything, but if you want to come to USA 2, you got to be vaccinated. It's like, oh, wow. They think so highly of themselves that they'd be able to run a country without food. Because I'll tell you what, most farmers are conservative. Most truckers are conservative. All right? You really want to split the country up, you're not going to have much. Oh, but our tax dollars. 1% of the richest elite pay 40% of the taxes. And AOC is like, tax the rich. We got to tax the rich. No, AOC, you got it all wrong. You got to make sure the tax dollars are going to where they should be going to. America. Not other countries. Not military machines. Americans. True infrastructure. Roads. Power plants. Nuclear energy, maybe. Yeah, but that doesn't help them. They can't sell that the same. You can't sell it when it's just pumping energy out. They need to be able to make that money. Now they're switching from fossil fuels to lithium and other fine earth minerals. Biden is just the same old establishment that, as that statement in chat, he is the establishment. Biden is that person that they wanted Trump to be so badly. But guess what? Trump loves America. He loves that flag. Trump looks at that flag and salutes it. And so do I. These people get triggered by it. Good. Maybe they won't sit and be able to handle watching my show because I got a flag behind me. An amazing flag. You know what that flag represents? Your freedom to hate that flag. You're not even allowed to do that in other countries. Maybe in some countries, but in America, you have the First Amendment, baby. Freedom of speech. You're allowed to say whatever you want. You can't pick and choose. You know, I'm kind of bouncing around a little bit, but I'm so fed up with these entitled brats that don't realize what they have and are blindly listening and thinking that Biden is some sort of godsend that needs to be worshipped and, I mean, I don't know, idolized. Dude's a creepy old man with dementia. Okay, I'm not a medical doctor. I don't know if he actually has dementia, but I'll tell you, he loves his ice cream, and he stumbles around a lot. And I've listened to enough of his speeches through his entire life to know that he does not have a stutter. Okay? He's an old man. He's tired. Okay? He doesn't have it anymore. He's not the same Biden. You think Biden ordered that drone strike that killed civilians? I'm curious. Do you think it was Biden that actually ordered that drone strike? Killed 10 civilians, 7 children. If they didn't hate us before, they're certainly looking to hating us now. Absolutely shameful. Shameful. I don't even want to read the rest of this article because it's the New York Times. And I can't stand the New York Times.